The vast majority of cars today have either pure front-wheel drive or are driven via the rear axle. This is perfectly adequate for dealing with most driving situations. However, in extreme situations and when extra safety is required, intelligent distribution of the drive to all wheels makes sense, four-wheel drive. There are several ways of actively distributing drive to all four wheels. Manual switchover, with fixed torque distribution, or with automatic control. With its new 4-motion four-wheel drive concept, Volkswagen is deploying the most modern principle available, an electro-hydraulically controlled four-wheel drive system which is fully compatible with dynamic control systems such as ABS, ASC and ESP. Volkswagen's 4-motion four-wheel drive principle is based on the intelligent Haldex clutch system. Front and rear axles are connected via a multi-plate clutch which, if the input and output shafts are running at the same speed, runs without drive. The car is driven in front-wheel drive mode. As the 4-motion system is integrated in the vehicle's electronic CAN control, any differences in wheel speed are immediately detected and reported to the clutch control system. Depending on the driving conditions, the plates are hydraulically pressed together with just the right pressure to produce the connection with the rear axle, and the front-wheel drive is converted into a four-wheel drive. The Haldex clutch is not a passive system. Rather, it's a dynamic system able to adapt to any conceivable driving situation and within fractions of a second. For the driver, this new system offers a whole range of advantages in numerous situations. When accelerating, the first few seconds are critical. Engine power must be on the road. Power distribution to the wheels must be perfect. Once the car is moving, and provided that conditions are normal, power distribution to the wheels only plays a secondary role. 4-motion technology ensures that power is available when needed. The system detects acceleration and provides the driver instantly with fully fledged four-wheel drive. But only for as long as it's necessary. The electronic system continuously adapts to the prevailing driving conditions, giving the 4-motion car a big advantage at traffic lights and when overtaking. Towing a caravan in the mountains, a tough job for any vehicle. The caravan presses on the rear axle while relieving the load at the front, causing the front wheels on front-wheel drive vehicles to lose traction. Driving uphill requires additional power, which has to be cleverly distributed. This is where the 4-motion drive system comes in. Sensors in the dynamic control systems inform the electronic system that the reduced load on the front wheels means they're unable to transfer as much traction to the road. The consequence is drive is concentrated on the rear wheels, the most effective drive configuration in the situation. No problem thanks to 4-motion. The Haldex clutch adapts to the special demands made by the mountain roads. The 4-motion really shows its mettle in winter on snow and ice. Whereas vehicles with front-wheel and rear-wheel drive tend to spin their wheels and slide around in bends, the 4-motion four-wheel drive responds to the driver's needs. Unlike conventional systems, the 4-motion system doesn't distribute the drive according to a set pattern. It applies it intelligently to the axles as required. Within fractions of a second, it decides how much drive to apply and where, giving the driver complete control even on snow and ice. No loss of traction, no skidding, good directional stability. High torque applied to all four wheels in a four-wheel drive system certainly has its advantages. However, it must be done rapidly and carefully, even if the load distribution is uneven. For instance, if the vehicle is pulling a trailer and, in addition, standing on soft ground. A delay in applying the four-wheel drive can turn a potential advantage into a disadvantage, causing the wheels to dig in. In a Volkswagen with 4Motion, this can't happen, because 4Motion is an active system, which detects just how much power it needs to transfer to the wheels. The necessary traction is applied to the axles in fractions of a second. The vehicle is able to master the terrain without any tendency to slip. Positively unobtrusive is how engineers refer to the 4Motion four-wheel drive concept. In other words, the driver doesn't need to concern himself with the system, neither when driving or during servicing. The 4Motion always functions perfectly, something that can't be taken for granted, because four-wheel drive systems and brake test beds weren't always the best of friends. And the odd breakdown truck may have a bad conscience when it comes to four-wheel drive cars. The 4Motion doesn't fight shy of any of these situations because it's an intelligent system. When being towed, sensors inform the system that the engine isn't running. In other words, no need for four-wheel drive mode. The same applies during a brake test. The system doesn't switch to four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive as and when required without any intervention from the driver. That's 4Motion, the pioneering four-wheel drive system from Volkswagen.